Remember when Zack fell in love with Alex Russo from Wizards of Waverly Place in The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody during the play? No? Do you remember when Hannah Montana made Alex Russo her biggest enemy when she dated Jake Ryan? No? So crossovers can be amazing. When done right, they bring together our favorite characters in ways that feel natural, exciting, like Nickelodeon's track record, the Jimmy Timmy Power Hour, Rugrats Go Wild. These are so successful because they up the stakes, they have the characters connect with one another, and there's something meta about this relationship. But for every great crossover, there's a bad one. A crossover that's like forced, clunky, doesn't progress the plot with the characters, or they're just randomly put in a spot together. I mean, I recently did the crossover of the Grim Adventures of the Kids Next Door, and while that's not a live-action sitcom, it still was heavy when it didn't work. It makes us think about That's So Sweet Life of Hannah Montana. So that was the crossover event that started it all on Disney Channel. It was 3 completely different shows being awkwardly mashed together for the sake of ratings. And yet, it definitely worked, because the way people talk about it is as if it was like this massive, exciting time. And that's what made Disney want to do it again. So it's been a while since this masterpiece, quote-unquote, was announced. The crossover between Wizards of Waverly Place, Sweet Life on Deck, and Hannah Montana really was a rough one for me. One of the weirdest things about these Disney Channel crossovers is that you need to essentially retcon what you already know in order for them to even make sense. Like, you know how like Selena Gomez was on The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody. I mean, I guess we could look at that as saying Alex Russo was on Sweet Life of Zack and Cody. Oh wait, see, now you're uncomfortable. And then Alex Russo was also on Hannah Montana as Selena Gomez as Michaela. In order to accept all these facts and move forward, we have to basically let those go. There's something about bringing together a shared universe that makes it so much more complex, and if not done completely correct, falls apart at the seams. What's up, everybody? It's Johnny2000 coming at you with 2000s media from TV, movies, video games, and so much more. So we start with the Wizards of Waverly Place, Cast Away to Another Show, Season 2, Episode 25. I'm excited that it starts with Wizards of Waverly Place because obviously this is the most out there show and the most curious I would be to how they're going to implement this. It starts with Jerry pestering Alex to finish her homework because apparently she's missed for 14 weeks. Justin is obviously relishing in this moment. He's actually a really funny character. We find out that he actually won a cruise to the SS Tipton for a team cruise, and I don't know why you'd ever trust anybody on a team cruise. That's disgusting. So this is a good device to allow only Max, Alex, and Justin to go.
It says here I get a photo op with London Tipton. She's beautiful and rich.
And famous for doing absolutely nothing.
Apparently, he's also going to get a photo op with London Tipton, which is so weird to think about, her being famous for doing nothing. And Alex is told that she can't go because of her homework assignments. I don't know how long this is going to last. The Wizards music plays over the Sweet Life on Deck boat, and it seems like this is about to be a horror. They get on the boat, and Teresa is absolutely terrified of the water. Max was supposed to keep an eye on Alex, but apparently she's gone now. I don't know how nobody noticed that. And Mr. Mosby says there's no such thing as magic, which, Mr. Mosby, stop imposing your religious beliefs on this random family.
How does this thing float?
Magic.
Get it!
There's no such thing as magic.
And it's weird to see the characters interacting with the ones on the other show already. Alex manages to get her way onto the cruise by saying that she's going to take her science class on the ship, which I would not trust any education that's given to me through a boat. Mr. Mosby takes Justin, Max, and Alex to their room, and it's the infirmary. Fair enough.
Check it out. It's one of those arm clocks. I'm gonna go put it on people and tell them what time it is inside their bodies.
Okay, we're halfway through this episode and no interactions with the other castmates has happened yet. Alex has Justin leave the room when she reveals that she magically put Harper in her bag. She essentially tells Harper that she's going to be taking a class for her while she tries to have as much fun on this cruise as possible. Oh my gosh, Alex is such a bad friend. When Max is playing with the medical band, Zack runs into him and they bond over their natural stupidity.
I'm kind of the one on the ship who does weird and hilarious stuff. Well, good for you. Because I'm the one who does incredibly cool, serious stuff that people laugh at for no reason.
I can't tell if this is an in-universe joke or a audience joke. Zack challenges Max as the most dim-witted person on the cruise, to which Max is a little bit worse, and it's clear. They challenge each other with a slushy competition later on the boat. It's really funny to watch these two characters go up against each other for who is the dumbest, with both being super confident in it. Meanwhile, Justin is trying to meet London Tipton, and he comes across as really creepy as he just watches her. Eventually he runs into her, saying that he is the paleontologist on the ship, and she doesn't even know what that word means.
I love fried chicken.
It somehow works, and he invites her to dinner at the Neptune room, and she's impressed. Meanwhile, Harper runs into Cody in the classroom, and of course they're both nerds, and now they're going against each other. It just feels like they're just pairing off characters and having them argue at this point.
Well, nice to meet you, Alex Russo. I'm going to remember you.
You don't have to.
Mr. Mosby's hosting a tug-of-war in the middle of the ship, and I've never seen so many ship activities finally happening in the Sweet Life on Deck until the episode that wasn't theirs. He says that the winner will go to the Hannah Montana concert. Okay, I'm excited. I kind of want to join this one. Alex introduces herself to Bailey, and she doesn't really like her super well until they actually win the tug-of-war, and they get well acquainted. When Mr. Mosby asks for her name, she doesn't want to give it to him, so she says she cheated.
I will need your name so I can put it on the winner's board with your picture for everyone to see.
No names. No board. We didn't win. We cheated by spitting on the floor.
She told me to, Mr. Mosby.
After all we've been through.
But then when he asks her to get her name for the cheaters list, she says Ashley Olsen and doesn't remember it immediately. Meanwhile, Justin and London are on a date, and she tells him how happy she is that he's being super honest with her, which, why are you wearing a doctor's coat on your date, Justin? I mean, that's trying a little too hard. She interrupts the date to say that she has to go greet the poor family, the Russos, and suddenly Justin's in a bigger kerfuffle.
I have to go to the main deck to greet some poor family who had to win a contest to get on the boat. The Russos.
So Justin runs down to be a part of the picture, running into Harper, who is a part of Alex's scheme. He doesn't really have time to address it, so Justin asks Harper for a disguise, but they're interrupted by London actually coming in. And she doesn't even recognize Justin, so it doesn't even matter. Wow, that was an easy escape. Max and Zack finally get to their slushy competition and realize that they can't tell who won because they drank out of the same cup. That is actually a really funny idea.
Exactly why I said we shouldn't drink from the same cup. You can't tell who finished first.
Yeah, maybe you're right. I have an idea we can settle this.
Settle what?
Then we're in class and Mr. Mosby for some reason is teaching. I don't know how he got his credentials to do this. He's really bonding with Cody, and I don't remember that relationship being so tight. And then Harper and Cody really get along, and Harper is really good at keeping her disguise. Meanwhile, Alex and Bailey are bonding a lot, but it doesn't really seem like Alex is trying to connect with her. It looks like Alex is just trying to enjoy herself, and Bailey is a part of it. Justin runs over to talk to Alex, but Bailey corrects her, saying this is Ashley Olsen, which is, I don't know why it's fair that all the Sweet Life on Deck characters are able to fall for the Russos' pranks. Like, not all of them are that dumb. At least Cody would have some kind of inkling about this. It just seems like they're textures to this whole first part. Like, why aren't they involved in the plot? They're just comedic reliefs, it seems like. Justin decides it's finally time to come clean and tell London that he was lying to her. Meanwhile, while Max and Zack are kart racing, they knock Bailey into the pool and she needs help. London turns to Justin because obviously he's a doctor, and for some reason she's choking in the pool. Can you imagine, like, drowning but somehow choking at the same time? Like, which would you qualify as the death? The drowning or the choking? Even though Alex messed up the name multiple times, for some reason Max is the one who ruins the disguise.
Alex? Yeah, she's my sister, Alex Russo.
She's not Alex Russo. Ha! That's Alex Russo.
Harper runs in saying that she's Alex Russo, and Mr. Mosby is finally picking up on this scheme, which it took you long enough. Finally, Justin is ready to come clean to London about everything he lied about, but London is already dismissive because apparently he's such a dumb doctor for not saving Bailey that she needs to break up with him. And he's like, you're breaking up with me for being dumb? And then she's like, okay, And then he actually tries to come clean and says, like, would you date me if I was running a sandwich shop and everything? And she's like, well, I'd date Justin Russo, and leaves him. Oh my gosh, London. And that's kind of how it ends. Then Alex and Harper talk about how they had a good time on the cruise, and that's the end of the first part. It's weird because it seems like there were a lot of jokes that were started, but no plot line, like, fully finished. You know, like, all the Sweet Life on Deck characters were just running gags. And even Alex and Max's plots didn't necessarily necessarily have anything at stake. They just kind of happen and stop. I feel like the best part of the Wizards episode is definitely London and Justin going on a date. Like, the whole point of this is to have the characters interact in a way that actually affects both of them. And it seems like London versus Justin is actually something that's playing out right in front of us. Like, this will affect London and Justin, and that's why I think it's relevant, you know? For the next segment, we have The Sweet Life on Deck. This is actually the final episode of the first season for The Sweet Life on Deck, season 1, episode 21. Which is weird to think about because this show has been going on for 4 years, so technically I consider this the 4th season of The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, as opposed to the 1st season of this brand new show that just happened to cross over. Bailey's excited and really wants to go to the Hannah Montana concert, which is weird because she won the tickets in the last episode. I don't understand if I missed something. We're interrupted with Hannah Montana coming onto the Tipton boat, and Cody is still trying to get with Bailey, so he's really surprised when she says that if he got her tickets, she would go out with him, essentially. And I wish she was in the first part. I don't know how it's Wizards on Deck with Hannah Montana if Hannah is not in the first part, but I guess they did that in the first special, so whatever. Cody actually has a good reason for being able to do this, as he actually met Hannah Montana in that last special, which is a cool callback. Meanwhile, Alex is still on the boat, which is kind of a half-baked reason to keep them going, and Zack tries to hit on her with whipped cream. Zack and Cody get into an argument, with Alex being in the middle of it.
You think messing with a man's botanical rinse is funny? I think any man who uses a botanical rinse is funny.
The plot line that's carried over is Alex still not completing science, and Justin reminds her of that. I'm already not interested in the wizard side of this. And Zack uses this as a way to relate to her because they're both deadbeats that don't do their homework. Max tries to impress London Tipton by doing magic tricks, and she is excited. And now Max is hitting on London, and it just seems like the Wizards cast is hitting on all the other people. Why is it like either they're competing or hitting on each other? Like, is that really the only 2 moods of a teen? I guess it is. Meanwhile, Cody is trying to talk to Hannah to get the tickets, but there's already a riot outside of her door and a camera through the window. Hannah's complaining that she got on this teen cruise, and just be grateful that you're in the special longer than last time. She says she doesn't know Cody and gives him a picture, which I can only imagine she still does to this day. So Justin is trying to impress a bunch of girls, so he gets in the hot tub. Alex runs down. Ew, why is he so blue? Okay, it looks like this B-plot is just Alex using magic to pull pranks. Now Mosby and Justin bond over their distaste for the irresponsible one, like Zack and Alex.
Alex! Alex? What?
This was Alex. I know my sister.
Oh, this was Zack. I know my hooligan.
But
I just really wish that these plots continued after one another and didn't stop. Like, why can't the Justin and London storyline keep going as opposed to stopping and then restarting a new plot? Alex tries to run away from Justin and hides in Zack's room, and then he prays to the gods, thank you. Meanwhile, Cody asks for London's help to contact Hannah Montana, but she's already mad at her for the last time they saw each other. Okay, this is barely a continuous plot. And meanwhile, Bailey is trying to get ready for the Hannah Montana concert, only making Cody a little bit more stressed each time. She calls him her guy, which provokes him to keep going through with his plan. And apparently, the teen cruise scavenger hunt is what will be the winner of the tickets, which they mentioned in the first part, so that's kind of good. So Zack's in trouble for the thing that Alex did, and banned to his room. Alex is trying to get out, and somehow convinces him that he did do it.
You should just confess. You'll feel so much better afterwards and maybe get out of your room sooner. Like me right now, okay, bye.
But I didn't do it.
Zack thinks the way out of this is to find the person who actually did it, and of course Alex is nervous. Can someone tell me what this has to do with magic or wizards or anything like that? And then we have Max trying to hit on London again, and I am not impressed. Cody has to somehow win this scavenger hunt, and also hide it from Bailey so that way she doesn't suspect that he had to earn it. Slowly, Alex starts to threaten everybody who must know about this, including Max, and Justin and Mr. Mosby argue about whether it's Alex or Max. Finally, Cody finds the final part to the scavenger hunt, and just as he's about to get the chalice, Zack tackles him and everybody else gets to it first. Of course, the boys end up in a fight again, like 2 ravenous dogs. Mr. Mosby and Justin corner Zack and Alex, and it's very clear that Alex did this, and she even tries to frame Zack one last time.
Is the miscreant who turned you blue?
no, it's not. It was her.
Justin, Mr. Mosby is our host on this lovely cruise, and you insult him by arguing with him. Come, brother.
But he recognized the lying that he's so good at. Justin is right, and it is definitely Alex, and Zack is betrayed. Zack corners Mr. Mosby for an apology for accusing him, and that's really funny. But he reveals that in the process of this, he admitted to 6 other pranks he did, and he's still in trouble. Cody comes clean to Bailey about his lies, and she just accepts it. So after this, everybody leaves the boat for Hannah to finally enter the lobby. She runs into Cody, and now who has cake on his shirt is able to recognize him from the prior series. She's able to give them tickets and backstage passes, and all is well.
Thank you. Arigato. Yeah, I gotta go too.
Bailey finally kisses Cody, and this actually begins the start of their relationship during this crossover special, which is kind of weird. As the Russos are leaving the boat, this is where the episode ends, with one more failed attempt of Max hitting on London. This one that's more geared toward the sweet life on deck is definitely the same amount of quality as the first one. I feel like I have the same critiques, which is just like, I wish they developed a little bit more. It feels like this one's a little more conclusive, but Hannah Montana did not really play an important role, and Alex and Justin didn't even need to be in this episode for it to be relevant. I still stand by what I said, that I wish the earlier plot lines carried over as opposed to the standard reset button that they do in every sitcom. In my opinion, the only thing that killed this special, and I mean like murdered it into the ground for me and deciding it's actually really disappointing, is Hannah Montana not meeting Alex Russo. Yeah, why would you guys have all the 3 titles conjoined if the Wizards aren't actually going to stay long enough and Miley's not going to come early enough to actually cross over one another? It's a huge disappointment, and I could forgive the forgotten storylines if they didn't do the bare minimum, which is actually cross over all 3 of the shows. They only crossed over 2 at a time in 2 separate episodes. That's all I'm saying. Feel free to disagree in the comments. Okay, let's move on to the final part. Now, I'm going to warn you, my reviews from now on will not get better. This is the weakest episode in the trilogy, and it's better than the last time they did it for this That's So Sweet Life of Hannah Montana, but it is not something to write home about. So if you want to see more crossover stuff, stop watching, because it's essentially over at this point. So the Hannah Montana Superstitious Girl is Season 3, Episode 20. So they docked in Hawaii on the SS Tipton. Apparently they're stuck there for 5 days because Lily can't find something. Miley says that she's a professional and is able to keep track of everything except for her mother's locket.
Mama's lucky anklet. Don't got it.
She starts to freak out because apparently with that necklace, she has good luck, and now that it's gone, everything is gonna go wrong. Mr. Mosby runs in telling her to get ready for the concert because apparently there's a helicopter waiting for them. Lily tells her that nothing bad's gonna happen, and it cuts to them coming back from the rehearsal. Apparently Hannah had the worst sound check, and everything is going wrong. She even finds the rat in her bathroom that apparently has escaped. But like already we don't see Selena Gomez, the entire Wizards cast is gone, so it seems like this is a standalone Hannah Montana episode. So I don't know why they're doing this crossover. This was an issue with the first crossover where the Hannah one felt so separated from the rest of them. Like if I were a fan of this special, I probably would have turned it off by now because I don't get to see many of the cast that we wanted to see. I mean, we still get to see the Sweet Life on Deck cast, but it's only because they're passerby. She continues to look for her anklet, hoping that she'll be able to save this concert. Miley tries to retrace her steps, and it's also revealed that Robbie's on the ship, which is exciting. She runs to check on Robbie, who is super seasick and upside down on his bed. That's a funny trope. He gives her the idea that maybe she left it in her sock.
Once I get it on again, no more bad looking.
But when they go back to her room, it turns out that the entire room is clean. Meanwhile, in the B plot, Jackson and Oliver are hanging out in the empty house because they have it to themselves. This guy delivers a really big package, and Jackson is super excited to see what's inside. Oliver encourages him to open it and figure out what's in it, but, you know, they try not to do that. Robbie tells him that the package better be sealed by the time they get home, so they cannot open it. Jackson attempts to use a steamer to carefully open the box and be able to reseal it, but I don't know if that's gonna work. Meanwhile, Miley and Lily are still looking for this anklet. London tries to take ownership of this anklet, claiming that everything on this boat technically belongs to her.
Oh, all right. Look, I'll just hold her for safekeeping till the owner shows with the receipt and 2 forms of ID.
Turns out it wasn't Hannah's sock. Miley runs downstairs in a disguise, but never takes off her wig. I don't know why we can't see Miley in this. And they run to approach London, only to be interrupted by Zack, who almost gives away her identity in public.
It's the other one that's got the girlfriend, right?
For her sake, I hope so.
Zack hits on Hannah, which is all he does with these characters. London is admiring the necklace when Hannah runs up to ask for it back.
That anklet belongs to me. Fine. I'll need to see a receipt and 2 forms of ID.
When London realizes that it's not real gold, she throws it off the balcony, and Hannah is freaking out. Miley insinuates that Lily should jump in and get it, and that would literally kill her. I don't know why you're suggesting that, Miley.
Miley, it's gotta be like 60 feet. Right. You won't have to give me anything for my birthday. Miley? Ever. Miley. Fine.
Her bad luck continues as a storm finally comes up and even blows off her wig. I wish this was a bigger issue. So Miley has to start replacing her wig with one of Lola's, and it looks hideous on her. She thinks this is a sign and that she's not really meant to do the concert. Miley attempts to dye this hair, and it turns out disgustingly seaweedy. In the B plot, we go back to Jackson and Oliver trying to open this box. They really can't do it, and even their hair is messed up because of it. Jackson says that it's finally time to hire a professional. Then we get Rico coming on into this. Seems like he knows how to open it.
Unlike your combined IQs, is high. How much?
If it's a big robot, I get to play with it first.
Deal.
But you promised if it was a robot, I could play with it first.
Do you want it open or not?
I want it open.
They're surprised when a giant alarm goes off and this inflatable bouncy house takes over the entire house. So they got their comeuppance. I don't know what's going on with this B plot though. Can you imagine these poor actors being told that they're a part of this 3-part crossover, but only in the B plot, and they're going to be on the same set, and nothing is going to be changed literally at all? It's still not even a good B plot. I mean, Hannah Montana, sometimes their B plots can be really off the rails, and it's not fair that that even had to happen in this special. I mean, Hannah Montana already didn't interact with the Wizards or the Sweet Life on Deck enough, so why is this the B plot? With the green wig not working, Miley is finally given up, just in time for Cody and Bailey to come give her flowers. This is it. These two actors came all the way here just to be in this one scene, and it's like less than a minute. I feel so bad for them because they wanted to be a part of the Hannah Montana world, and they were given this 20-second scene of just Miley saying that the concert's canceled. Not fair.
Is this going to affect the after party?
Finally, Robbie Ray goes out to talk to Miley, who is just sulking on the sky deck. Robbie gives Miley a backup wig, and the sun finally comes out. The storm is over, and he's basically telling her that it's about the mindset. Hannah is finally in a good mood and ready to go to her concert.
Hey, what are you guys sitting around here for? Don't you have tickets to my concert? And the after party? Let's go.
She calls everybody on the boat to join her, and it's finally positive. And the rest of the episode is just her concert. I gotta tell you guys, I'm pretty disappointed every time the Hannah Montana is involved in the crossover. It feels like she's either barely involved, or the writers just wanted to make their own episode and do the bare minimum to connect all the characters. It's not as bad as That's So Sweet Life of Hannah Montana, where it literally just transitions to a Hannah Montana episode, but this is not fun either. Not only do we never see the Wizards, we barely get to see the Sweet Life characters, and for being such a great show, it sucks that the Hannah Montana part is always the least effort put into it. Like, not only is this a bad crossover episode, it even feels low stakes for a Hannah Montana episode, which is not fair. This is the 3rd season of Hannah Montana, the best season in the entire show. Why are they giving them the short end of the stick here? This episode is primarily just Miley and Lily. Overall, this 3-part special is definitely better than the original 3 parts, but I gotta admit, it's not that much better. Like, while other channels do such a great job at integrating the characters' conflicts and having rising action throughout the entire show, this just had 3 separate standalone episodes, and I wish you just didn't stage it like it was gonna be a 3-part special, because my expectations were too high. I guarantee anybody who watches these specials probably skipped the Hannah Montana episode because it just ends. You know, like, the first one just ended, and this one just ended, and it just feels like it's not a part of the grand scope of the world. It feels like the Hannah Montana purposely didn't involve the other casts, and I just don't like that. I don't like that look. It's like, sure, Hannah Montana's a great show, but it deserves to be a part of the community, and not in the most bare minimal way. And as somebody who's a major Hannah Montana fan, this is such a disappointment. I can name 50 ways this could have gone better, but it didn't. But I mainly feel bad for the cast members that thought they would be a part part of this and just ended up barely being in it. While The Sweet Life on Deck had this being their season finale and the start of Cody and Bailey's relationship just by the plot alone, Hannah Montana was just a episodic random insert in the season. Like, it didn't even, like, this could be taken out of the entire series and nobody would have noticed. So it just goes to show how important this was to the Hannah Montana writers versus the Sweet Life on Deck writers, and it seems like it wasn't. So I'm a little disappointed overall in this special, but not as disappointed as the first one. But what do you guys think? Did you like this crossover event, or did you think it was lame like I did? Feel free to leave the comments below, and thank you guys so much for watching another one of Johnny 2000's videos. Until next time, everybody, aloha. That means hello.
Wait till I tell my friends that I sat on Hannah Montana's suitcase. Ah!
Oh man, guys, so I purposely did the Wizards on Deck crossover retrospective first because I knew it was a little bit stronger, but I really want to dive into the origins of what started it all, what made all these networks decide to come together and selectively handpick different actors to take place in really specific episodes. When we grew up, we revered this special really excited. It was something that had never been done before, crossing different universes to be the same. It was just really cool. But I'd be lying if I said that when I rewatched all of it, I definitely have a new perspective. And while it's not super positive, I feel like we'd have a good fun time going over all of it, because these specials are just, they're just cool, okay?
And listen! Do you tickle the camera?
And if you get the chance, please subscribe, like, anything to help share this channel. I just want to make more 2000s content, and I never want to stop. So if you guys support that and want to watch more TV shows like Disney, Nick, Cartoon Network, and so much more, please don't forget to subscribe. But without further ado, let's jump in to the special that started it all. That's So Sweet Life of Hannah Montana. Here we go.
Let's go. If you could gaze into the future, you might think life would be a breeze. See trouble from a distance, yeah. Go right, but it's not that easy.
Okay, so in part 1, we have Checkin' Out. It's That's So Raven episode, season 4, episode 11. And it kicks off the whole thing. It starts with Raven's boss, Donna Cabana. She's about to go to Boston, which, can you imagine where that could lead? But her assistant is sick.
I just lost my assistant. Tiffany called in sick.
Tiffany,
And Raven's been waiting for every opportunity she could to step in.
you need someone to, step in and help you, don't you?
Yes.
I bet you do.
But who? I mean, I'm planning this huge photo shoot in Boston, Raven, and I need someone who's organized.
Raven is hilarious, not only just her, like, facial reactions, but then she, like, shows Donna she's so willing to do anything by jumping through hoops literally in the office. It's actually really funny. So Donna Cabana immediately makes Raven feel a lot of pressure as she says an incredible fashion designer will be there, and if anything goes wrong, it will be an issue. I guess we could pretty much guess where this episode's gonna go. The B-plot doesn't feel like it has to do with the special, so I don't think I'm gonna cover it that much, but in short, Chelsea literally gets into paddleball so well, and Corey and Eddie see money in this opportunity. Not much to discuss there.
No, you're doing it right, Chelsea. You're supposed to hit the ball.
Oh. Well, in that case, Mr. B, stink.
Raven talks to the famous fashion person over something that's like kind of like FaceTime, but look how old it looks. It kind of looks like a Windows Movie Maker type video. I definitely don't think we were video calling at that time either. And I wish Chelsea, Eddie, and Corey were somehow worked into the plot. Like, you couldn't have Corey running throughout the Tipton, or Eddie and Chelsea getting into an issue with Mr. Mosby. Like, there's just so many opportunities to keep crossing over that I feel like they didn't take right off the bat.
Ah, yes. Raven Baxter. Have it right here.
You do? You do?
Oh, yeah.
It went through?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, ready? Next one.
Raven meets Mr. Mosby when she first steps into the Tipton, and I feel like the immediate introductions are what we watch these specials for. Like, how do the characters interact? Like, what do they talk about? And then everything after that feels like it's just like, okay, let's see how this plays out. Which is necessary. Like, that's the hype it builds. I do care about how the episode goes, but it's like these initial things are what really make it solidified. Mosby and her actually get along really well, like their chemistry is pretty good. But then obviously things take a dark turn when Raven realizes that the photographer and models for the shoot were sent to Czechoslovakia instead of the Tipton. So she's in some deep waters.
I ruined everything.
As she's trying to figure it out in the lobby, she has a vision that some girl is going to fall, and Zack and Cody prevent it from happening.
Garbage.
Guys, put your arms out. Why? Just do it.
Of course I'll do it.
Which is such a cool introduction. Raven stops the whole situation from happening, and obviously the boys are super confused, but I like that they have like a really intimate intro.
How'd you know she was gonna trip? Don't you all watch the news? There's been like a rash of falling stars this week. It's scary.
Good to know.
Donna Cabana comes in, and everybody's super excited for this fashion show, except for Raven, who is terrified. And how come they could get Donna Cabana to come, but they can't get Chelsea, Eddie, and Corey? You know what? I'm gonna let it go. We realize quickly when the fashionista is supposed to show up that Raven comes impersonating her to make up for her mistake.
Oh, la, 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 la. You know what that sound means? It's the boys!
Zack and Cody somehow get looped into it, which is really funny because obviously they both on their respective shows get into a lot of hijinks, so it's really cute to see them together, especially this early on.
Actually, he's one and I'm Cabela. Okay, listen, I don't want you to speak English on this mess. Now listen, you gotta speak to this woman. I better not get no pick out of you.
And this is where it gets really funny. The actual fashionista shows up, and obviously Raven is already impersonating her, and the fact that this is being recorded live on the news is even more insane.
Okay, boys, smile, smile. Ooh, it's a pointing. Ooh, it's a pointing. It's so rude. It's so rude. I love it. So nasty.
But this is something always funny about That's So Raven, like, people confronting each other, missing identities, like, I love this stuff.
It's gonna be totally humiliated unless we have an explanation. Or we run.
But what really bothers me is that we're essentially toward the very end of the episode, so a lot of it was introducing stuff that never got fully realized.
Have our incredible models arrived from Bucharest, Slovakia?
Right, about them Prada flogging boys.
And you'll see what I mean when we go on to the Sweet Life episode. It feels like the same thing. Zack and Cody end up being the solution to the problem, where Raven has a vision that the boys end up becoming the new fashion icons. So she's like, okay, let me jump in and take credit for that, which is a very Hollywood thing to do, Raven. Why are you doing it like that? And that's kind of how the episode ends. Raven's able to turn around her whole Donna Cabana situation and make it work in her favor. And I like that it's her working toward her career in fashion. Like, it's clearly progressing the plot of Raven, which I really like. It bothers me how strategically it feels like it was produced. Like, 90% of the episode is only in the Tipton lobby, which isn't really much of a crossover to me, but I feel like we'll do more complaining about that when we get to Hannah Montana. But while I find it cheap in retrospect, we have to admit that the writers did a really good job at making it work. Like, growing up, we never noticed stuff like that. Like, looking back now, I'm surprised I even picked up on it. It takes good writing to turn around one set and make an entire episode out of it, and Raven did a really good job. This show has always been really good though, so I'm not really that surprised. For now, let's go to the Zack and Cody part of things, which I would say is my favorite.
Would you like a wake-up call for tomorrow?
Yes, please!
I also gotta give them props. It's really cool that Raven still can't leave yet, so she's involved in the next episode, taking off from where That's So Raven just started. So Raven is stranded at the Tipton after her flight's been canceled. I'm not sure if you guys remember, but in the episode before this, she had this whole fashion show where she checked into the Tipton. Here we follow Zack and Cody and their storyline. They're getting ready for their mother's birthday, and it's gonna be a whole surprise. But when they run into Raven, she warns them and has a vision that they are going to be harmed during this experience. Which, can you imagine if somebody came up to you and is like, don't go to your mom's birthday party? Like, I would be terrified. Seeing her interact with all the Sweet Life cast is really funny. Like, Raven Symone and Ashley Tisdale have good chemistry. I love how Cody even questions how Raven has her visions and, like, enacts it himself.
You were doing this.
It's really funny when Maddie comes into the picture because Raven, like, fangirls over her, because that means, like, in this universe, London Tipton is super famous, which makes sense because in the Wizards on Deck with Hannah Montana special, that was kind of a similar scenario. The cool thing about this episode specifically is they make the B-plot be about Raven, which is great because it's like we're not abandoning that first episode of this trilogy, unlike the Hannah Montana one, which we'll get to later. But Raven still has a way to go. She basically is like, hey, if I can get London wearing one of my dresses, that would be game-changing for her. Maddie even says she'll help her with this because she's so close with London, which is true. London takes advantage of her a lot, so I feel like Maddie can at least get this one favor from her. The boys deter their mom from thinking they're planning anything for them, and Cody takes this burden through the rest of the episode, the whole vision thing with Raven, and he becomes super paranoid. There's an episode in season 3 where he also becomes like a germaphobe, and that's what this kind of reminds me of. This is also one of the first times I feel like I saw London talk to her mirror, and it shouldn't be so game-changing, but it definitely sets the tone for how rich she is for the rest of the series.
So, how do I look?
Fair.
Maddie, can you move before it cracks?
She pretty much does not want to wear Raven's outfit, and Maddie is a little bit annoyed at that. It's so funny when Zack mocks Cody and uses Raven's whole vision thing for it.
Wait a minute. I'm having a vision. It's someone taking your $5 you left on the dresser. Who? Me!
Arwen comes on in this crossover, and I wish he got to meet Raven. Everybody at the Tipton is essentially getting ready for the surprise party for Carrie. Zack is trying to keep things straight, while Cody is still freaking out about what could possibly happen to him. Maddie actually uses Esteban to help her sneak into London's room and switch the tags of the dress she's supposed to wear with Raven's dress. And if I were Maddie, I wouldn't go this far for a stranger, but I guess it's thoughtful. I love Esteban being her right-hand man, though. Like, he is really funny in this stuff, but I do wish they incorporated Raven a little bit more, or Hannah Montana. Like, this is a crossover special, and right in this moment, it doesn't really feel like it. Although there are some funny jokes in this scene. To get Cody to calm down about the superstition stuff, Zack is essentially like, let's switch clothes, so if anything were to happen, it would happen to me. Which is kind of genius, actually. They get to the surprise party, and everybody's getting ready, and Cody and Zack look super unnatural in each other's clothes. I can't believe it took them this long to do a plot like this, like representing one another like you're twins. Like, that should be a whole plot point. Raven doesn't know Carrie, nor does she understand that there's a surprise party going on for her, so she is not informed about this. So when she walks into the party, everybody cheers, but it's an accident, and she thinks it's for her, which is so funny. Look at her basking in this glory. I'm just happy she's in the episode more than like 2 seconds. The whole surprise is ruined, and Carrie just walks in on it, and everybody has to have a delay in their surprise. She's so happy that she cries, which is so sweet. As they sing the copyright appropriate birthday song, Arwen's present to Carrie is this giant vacuum-like robot, and it starts to attack the whole party, even cornering Zack into the cake. So they cleverly avoided the vision that Raven set out. I love how it's a That's So Raven style plot in the Zack and Cody universe, because it makes it a lot more unique and a reason to actually justify this special. Like, Zack and Cody wouldn't do this as a normal episode, and that's how you know it kind of takes on its own identity with this other property. That's the way to do it, guys. Like, make it something new. Give our Sweet Life characters our That's So Raven plot lines. Although I wish that That's So Raven's friends were involved in this in some way. Like, it's just Raven Symone going to a different set. Like, come on, guys. In the end, London does wear Raven's dress, and Raven's super excited about it, but London feels betrayed because she realizes it's not actually a Louis Vuitton, and Maddie switched the tags. London feels betrayed, but everything kind of gets solved when Hannah Montana enters the Tipton. So this is kind of nice. I feel like this is the best part in the 3-part special because they actually incorporate all 3 shows. Something that Wizards on Deck with Hannah Montana actually never did. Like, when Miley comes in, she compliments the dress, and it kind of solves the whole problem, making London feel a lot better about Raven's choices. Seeing Hannah Montana and London vibe is also cool because you get a more grand scope of what this world's actually like, especially for the celebrities. Overall, this is definitely one of the best Disney Channel crossover episodes, and even though it's oversaturated with bad specials, I feel like this is a gem in all of them. So for the final part in this 3-part special is the weakest episode, the Hannah Montana one. Why is it weak? Because it's very, very minimally involved in this whole thing.
Any room in your suitcase?
Nope.
But what about that extra
No.
bit? But what about your kid?
No.
It breaks off after like 10 minutes of the episode into just being a normal Hannah Montana episode surrounding Miley and her dad, which is why I don't really want to deep dive into that section, especially since I'm just focusing on crossovers this time. We start with Hannah trying to get on her luggage to close it, which is so funny, and I like that it's season 1 Hannah. Like, it's so cool to see her before she becomes super famous. Like, her voice is so much younger than we know her to be in the 3rd season crossover.
Roxy, I didn't think that the Marines did yoga.
Oh, I didn't learn this in the Corps. I learned it when I was touring India with world-famous cellist Yo-Yo Ma. He calls me his Yo-Yo Mama.
Her and Billy Ray are just leaving the Tipton, and we even get a quick conversation with Ashley Tisdale, which is nice.
There's a girl out here who wants to see you, claims she's Maddie from the candy counter. You want me to tell her you're not here?
But she's right there. I can see her.
Roxy makes her way into this special, which I really enjoyed. I know she was probably getting paid for the whole episode and could have just been there anyway, but it's definitely meaningful.
Hey, I got my eyes on you.
I feel like they tried to work around the actors' contracts. Like, Ashley Tisdale is only in the 3rd episode, so they only had to pay her for that. They didn't have to pay her for the That's So Raven episode, because it was only Zack and Cody. And then in the Zack and Cody episode, they actually had everybody. You know, like, they had Raven, then they had Miley. That's, like, the only episode I feel that actually crosses all 3 over, while the 1st and the 3rd seem to try to do it as minimal as possible, which I don't really respect. I do like that we got some interactions before the whole thing ends, but the fact it's literally only the first 3 minutes of the Hannah Montana episode is really insulting to me. Like, at least make the elements matter in the rest of the episode, but it doesn't. It's just the fact that Roxy's in it is the only thing that takes over. And I know I trashed Wizards on Deck with Hannah Montana. Something they did actually really well in that one was incorporating the actors a lot more. Like, this one, it's just one or the other, but at least they had, like, London Tipton being involved, all 3 of the Russos from Wizards being involved. Like, it felt a lot more figured out and strategic, although I will never get over the fact that they never had Miley and Selena meet. I know there was, like, outside beef going on with that, but it really bothers me. It doesn't feel like it's a true crossover because of that fact. But you know what? I feel like both crossovers have positives and negatives, and I really am bothered by the negatives, but I feel like the positives make each of these worth seeing. Like, if you were a Sweet Life of Zack and Cody fan, if you were a That's So Raven fan, and if you were a Hannah Montana fan, there's a reason to watch all 3 shows, and that's the whole point of it.
I just want to say goodbye and thanks for the tickets. Your concert was awesome.
Thanks. Now bounce up and down.
I know it's just a networking strategy, but it is definitely something we grew up really wanting. This filled a lot of fans' wishes, and it's hard to trash it too much. And even though I have, like, a lot of negative points on it, I definitely have to give it a good score, because this is such a fun experience, and not everybody was doing this at the time. Nickelodeon and Teen Nick never did, like, a Wizards on Deck type crossover, and that's something that's very unique to Disney Channel. Oh wait, I mean, I guess I forgot about iParty with Victorious, but think about iParty with Victorious in comparison to that. Like, it's definitely not as good, and even though I respect Victorious and iCarly for giving the amount of time that it needs to really sink in, I feel like this one's a lot faster paced. If we had to decide between the Wizards on Deck with Hannah Montana and That's So Sweet Life, I think I would even give it to Wizards on Deck, which is so confusing because Obviously, this one has the legitimate crossovers. Miley is in the Tipton, but I do feel like London and Justin's storyline is a lot more interesting than anything else going on. Like, it has a bigger impact on the greater scope of things. Kind of like That's So Raven did. Sweet Life didn't really have that kind of impact on its original plot, except for the fact that they know Hannah later when they meet her. But otherwise, I think there's a lot of positives coming out of this. But what do you guys think? Do you think one or the other was a better crossover? And why did you like it when you grew up? Because let's face it, we all liked it. If you liked any of these 3 shows, it was for you, whether you wanted it to be or not. Thank you guys so much for watching. This is Johnny 2000, and have a great day.
No longer Miss Piggy. I am Joan S. Jonas, your long-lost sister.
Did you know the best Disney Channel crossover of all time just happens to be Lost Media? That's right, Studio DC Almost Live. Does that sound kind of familiar? Because it is. It's the Muppets. Back when the Muppets were coming back, in the early 2010s, Disney Channel must have decided to combine their efforts in terms of promotion. Disney executives must have thought, hey, if these characters work so well in The Suite Life, Wizards, and Hannah Montana, maybe they'll work well with the Muppets and kind of cross-promote each other. But we won't have them play their characters, we'll have them play the actors playing the characters. And that's how we'll fit it into the Muppets. What's up, everybody? It's Johnny 2000, coming at you with 2000's media, movie, TV, music, and so much more.
Uh-oh, let's get out of here. Come on, guys. Let's go. Right this way, right this way.
So I've been talking about crossovers for a while. I had quite a lot to say about Wizards on Deck with Hannah Montana, as you guys may recall from my video last month. So I got into a lot more crossovers since then, and I've been learning a lot of really interesting things. Like, next thing you know, we have this long variety show featuring Disney Channel classics and the Muppets kind of commentating on them in sort of a Muppet Show-like style. If you're a fan of the Muppets, which I am a huge fan, you'd recognize this kind of format, with the human guest stars kind of reacting to the Muppet-like creatures.
Weird.
What?
Yeah, chillin' and colds.
No. Those are your rap names. Come on.
Hey, come on, get with the program, okay? Everybody's got a rap name these days.
And that's kind of half the jokes. Studio DC Almost Live in 2025 is almost the single most nostalgic piece of content I've ever seen. Not only is Miley, Billy Ray, Zack, Cody, Maddie, Mr. Mosby are all a part of this variety show, but it's like a full half-hour event. I would argue so much better than what they accomplished with the triple show crossovers. There were only 2 full episodes, and today we're gonna go over the first, and if you like this video enough, maybe we'll go over the second another time. So the opening starts with a animated shot of Hollywood. We get a sneak peek of everybody in the episodes, like Billy Ray Cyrus, Miley Cyrus, the Jonas Brothers, the cast of The Suite Life of Zack and Cody, and the Muppets. It's like a Saturday Night Live stage, and Dylan and Cole come out as the MCs. Isn't this crazy? They're hosting a show.
It's snowing?
That's right, my friend. And did you know why it's snowing?
Because you two are so cool.
It does feel a little bit rushed, though. Like, they don't really have a lot of comedic jokes. They just kind of act as themselves. Like, I even wonder if they had a script for this. Pepe and Rizzo come up, and they have a lot of banter between the 2 twins, contrasting the buddy comedy dynamics they have. Even Gonzo gets a minute with the 2. Then we go to a little musical number by Billy Ray Cyrus. I don't really know this song, so we're gonna skip it. Miley comes out and talks to her dad as if they don't have enough problems already.
It's okay, baby doll. You see, Rizzo and Pepe, they manage this band.
That's right.
And these guys have played with everybody.
Oh, yeah. Garth Brooks, Elton John, Prince. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
She learns that she has a new band behind her, the Electric Mayhem, which is the Muppet Band. Oh my god, this is so exciting. We go to the best musical number in the whole thing, GNO, Girls Night Out, from Meet Miley Cyrus 2. They add the Muppets for an extra flair, and it feels really celebrational.
Bling, bling! Okay, little Miss Cyrus, shall we do this?
I'm not really sure, but I'll try anything once.
Solid.
Then they have a read-through for the new version of Zack and Cody called The Suite Life of Zack and Cody, which is the Swedish chef's take on it.
I don't get why it's called The Swede Life.
Now
I get it.
We got Dylan and Cole, along with Brenda and Phil Lewis, playing themselves listening to the script read. And it's really funny because obviously the chef is known for being like nuts and just incoherent, so having them question everything in the script is just so perfect. But it's interesting because they're used to being the comedic relief, like Brenda Song as London, Phil Lewis as Mr. Mosby, and Zack and Cody as themselves, and it seems like they're more the butt of the jokes as anything else. Then we go to a weird looking Sweet Life set, like the Tipton main desk, where Kermit is going to be taking over for Mr. Mosby, which is a hilarious plot.
Now Kermit will be filling in for me while I take a little vacation.
You're not going on another one of those pocket hickey conventions, are you?
Maybe.
London obviously gets along with Miss Piggy, and it's so cute to see them interact. But there's just something so off about this set. Like, it doesn't feel like the actual Sweet Life set, and or they just repurposed it to be able to fit the Muppets. Because as you know, like, in order to get shots of puppets like that, most of the set needs to be 10 feet over ground, so that way the puppeteers can actually fit.
Don't worry, Kermit. We'll show him how to get down there. How do you feel about crawling through some vents?
Are you kidding? I was all state and vent crawling.
And Mr. Mosby is like, good luck, because I'm not excited about this. But Kermit's used to being around crazy people, which is such a cool reference to The Muppet Show. London and Miss Piggy get to be super demanding, and look, this set is not the Sweet Life. Oh my gosh, this is so weird. Kermit and London are a really funny couple of characters together.
Look, ladies, I can't just stand here all day.
Of course you can. You have to run around and do stuff for us.
With Kermit being a hilarious straight guy. Meanwhile, Zack and Cody find Gonzo in the air vents, and this is also not a room in Sweet Life, but it does look like tonally it would be. It's just the camera angles are so awkward. Turns out Gonzo ruined the entire vent, and it's like just all the Muppets being wacky and the Disney stars just kind of reacting to it. And we don't get Miley again after this point. I'm still wondering where we see her. It becomes like this Sweet Life, essentially, and this would have worked in an episode. I wish they just made a Muppets crossover episode fully instead of make a show about them doing a fake one, you know, like it's, I don't know.
And I'm not sure about those boys, but I think they're up to something.
You think? Kermit, finally, someone who realizes it's not that easy being me.
Then one of the highlights is another musical number with Ashley Tisdale and Kermit the Frog singing Bop to the Top.
Oh, Kermit.
Mucho gusto.
She's just as good and Kermit's just as nuts. But it's so funny watching him do it instead. The choreography's a little basic, but just the fact that he's singing it all is the whole point. Miss Piggy gets jealous and intervenes, making it a skit instead of a music number, which is perfect for the Muppets. They have such a way of interweaving comedy and music without necessarily being so distracting. And she gets in a fight with Ashley Tisdale.
Straight to the top, we're going for the glory.
Later, Miss Piggy has an interaction with the Jonas Brothers. They're apparently looking for a female vocalist, and Miss Piggy insists on it.
No, so silly. No, what you need is a Jonas sister.
Yeah, I think you should talk to our parents about that one.
We get Ralph and Miss Piggy on the piano, and the Jonas Brothers have yet to play. Oh my god, are they just gonna be playing second fiddle to the Muppets too? There's a photo of Demi in the background, and I can't help but wonder if Sunny with a Chance even started at this point.
Miss Piggy, are you alright?
That depends. Do I get to sing in the band?
What do you say, guys?
I don't know.
Please, pretty, please.
Alright.
Next, the Jonas Brothers actually do perform That's Just the Way We Roll, with Miss Piggy essentially taking over. And it's a really fun musical number. I love that they somehow involved the Jonas Brothers.
We are wild, we are free, we are urban, new things to call us freaks, but that's just the way we roll.
We get a little crazy.
Later, Zack and Cody are stressed because apparently the whole studio has gone crazy, and Kermit's like, well, welcome to my world, which is weird because, like, Zack and Cody, you're definitely used to craziness. Like, you are chaos.
You think the people are gonna like the show?
Are you kidding? With you guys hosting and all our great stars?
Dylan, Cole, the show's about to start.
I think you guys are on next.
In a typical Muppet reference, we have Fozzie Bear being a comedian, and it's super necessary, but no Disney stars are involved, which I'd rather see Fozzie interact with one of them. Like, even if it's like Sterling Knight or Jason Earls, I wish.
Uh-oh, we're out of ammo. Oh, it's too late anyway. The bear's gone and the show is starting. Oh, good. I needed a nap.
Zack and Cody give a final monologue, and that's how it ends. I just can't believe they abandoned something like this. This is genius. Like, at least put it on Disney Plus. Having seen both these episodes, I'll tell you, The next one is a lot more about Wizards of Waverly Place, and features Demi Lovato, Selena Gomez, and even Jason Earls makes an appearance. But we're not going to get into that unless you really like this video, so don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. But yeah, thank you guys so much for revisiting this with me. It is such a nostalgic dream to see all the characters interacting in an honest way, in a way that we don't really see authentically in the scripted series. I do, however, wish they made a Sweet Life episode with Kermit featured in it. Like, I don't think this was the right format, because this is essentially lost media at this point.
Don't you just love the creative process?
But what did you guys think of it? Do you think it's worth putting back out? It's Johnny 2000, coming at you with 2000's media, movie, TV, music, and so much more. Thanks for watching and have a great day.